Welcome to Mathematics Classroom with me, Teacher Mila. Okay, for today, how are you today, everyone? I hope all of you are happy today and get ready to start to study mathematics. Okay, for the first period, we would like to study about fractions. Okay, so in your book, you can see the fraction. It is in Unit 6. Okay, students, for today we are going to review the meaning of fraction and how to read fractions. Okay, let's start.
Today we are learning how to identify fractions. Now I'm assuming you know all about whole numbers. For example, if you were at a pizza party, you might see one pizza, two pizzas, or maybe three pizzas on a table. But by the end of the party, there might only be this much pizza left. There might only be one piece of pizza left over. When we talk about a piece of something, we do it by using fractions. Now, a fraction has two parts. It has a top and a bottom. The top part tells us how many pieces we have. So in this pizza, we see we only have one piece left. We'll put a 1 on top of the line. The number on the bottom tells us the total number of pieces in the entire thing. So we could see a full pizza would have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So we take that number 4 and put it on the bottom. And there we have a fraction. We read this as 1/4. Now before we go on, there's also some vocab you should know about fractions. We call the number on top the numerator, and we call the number on bottom the denominator. Now let's practice some of these together. Let's identify what fraction of pizza I have here. Well, remember fractions have two pieces, a top and a bottom. The number on top tells us how many pieces we have. Well, how many pieces of pizza do we have here? You can see we only have one piece of pizza, so we'll put a 1 above the line. Now, what is this number on top of the line called? The top number is called the numerator. Now, to find the number on the bottom, we have to count the total number of pieces in the entire whole. How many pieces would be in a full pizza? Well, you can see that it would take 1, 2, 3 of these slices to make a full pizza. So we'll write the number 3 down here. What is this bottom number called? The bottom number of a fraction is called the denominator. And there we have it. We could say that we have 1/3 of a pizza. Here's another problem to practice with. Let's find out what fraction of this rectangle is shaded. Well, remember that a fraction has two pieces, and the number on top tells us how many pieces we have. So what number should I put on top of my line? We can see in this rectangle only one piece is shaded. So we'll put a 1 on top of the line. Now what is this number on top of the line called? The number on top is called the numerator. Next, the number on the bottom will be the total number of pieces in this entire rectangle. What number should I put down here? You could count that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in this entire rectangle. So you'll write the number 6 on the bottom. What is this number on the bottom of a fraction called? This number is called the denominator. Now that we've written our fraction, we can say it. This is the fraction 1/6. Now it's time for you to practice on your own. What fraction of this rectangle is shaded? Well, this fraction will have two pieces. The number on top is how many pieces we have. Here, we only have one piece, so we'll put the number 1. The number on bottom is the total number of pieces in the rectangle. Here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces in the whole rectangle, so we put the number 8 on the bottom. Now we have our fraction, and we can read it as 1/8. And here's your last problem for today. What fraction of this circle is shaded? Well, our fraction will have two pieces. The number on top tells me how many pieces we have. Here, we only have one shaded piece, so we put the number 1 on top. The number on the bottom tells us the total number of pieces in the circle. we can count that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in this circle. So we'll put a 6 on the bottom of our fraction. Now that we've written our fraction, we can read it as 1/6.
Hello, math friends! Do you know what these numbers are? They are called fractions. Do you know how to read them? You don't? No problem. I'll explain it to you. Fractions are made up by two numbers, the number above and the number below. A line separates these numbers. The number above the line is called the numerator. Repeat after me, numerator. Well done! The number below the line is called the denominator. Can you repeat after me? Denominator. That's it! We read the numerator as we would normally read any number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number we read differently is the denominator. When the denominator is a 2, we say half. So we would read this fraction as 1/2. 1 for the numerator and half for the denominator. If we change the numerator for a 2, we would read the fraction as 2/2. Easy, right? When the denominator is a 3, we say third. This means that this fraction would be, come on, you say it. That's it, 1/3. And if I use a 2 for the numerator, how would we read the fraction? 2/3, great! When the denominator is a 4, we say fourths. This fraction would be 2/4. And this one? Very well, 3/4. And so on. If the denominator is a 5, we say fifths. If it's a 6, we say sixths. If it is a 7, we say sevenths. If it's an 8, we say eighths. If it's a 9, we say ninths. And if it's a 10, we say tenths. Easy, right? From 11 onwards, it's the same as before. Just keep adding the suffix ths. So if the denominator is an 11, we would say elevenths. If it's a 12, we would say twelfths. And so on. And so forth. Let's see if you understood. How would you read this fraction? 7/21. Very well. And this one? 20/32. Way to go! Now you know how to read fractions. Shall we recap? Let's see if you remember everything. How do we read this fraction? 1/2. And this one? 4/5. One more. 8/12. Excellent!
For now, when you have seen the video, I think you get more understand about fraction, how to read fraction, and what the meaning of fraction. Okay, students, to get more understand, so you should do the exercise.